It was a time of hope, promise, and great sacrifices. America was embroiled in a long, bitter war overseas. Back home, farmers worked the fields from dawn till dusk, many of them still relying on horse-drawn implements and a depleted pool of farm labor. In the heartland, a young farmer stared at a grain wagon. All that time wasted shoveling corn out the back, he knew there had to be a better, faster way. This young man was a thinker, a builder. He designed and built his first tractor cab at the age of 21. And in 1943, on his farm near Pella, Iowa, Gary Vermeer built a mechanical wagon hoist that eliminated a back-breaking job. Word spread about the invention and requests poured in from other farmers who wanted Gary to build them one. So along with his cousin Ralph Vermeer, Gary started Vermeer Manufacturing Company in a cinder block building on the western edge of Pella. The doors opened on November 22, 1948, and brother Harry Vermeer would join a few years later. Whether he realized it or not, Gary was in the early stages of creating what would become one of the largest and most respected family-owned corporations in the Midwest. Vermeer was now more than Gary's name. It was a product. It was a time of energy and great optimism. American companies were at the forefront of innovation, successful products, and ventures. And the spirit of innovation thrived in Pella, Iowa. Many of Gary's early ideas for product innovations came to him while working on his farm, usually as the result of looking for a better, faster, or more efficient way of doing something. His first big commercial success, the PTO-powered hammer mill.
And a farmer came along there and said to me, "Boy, you got a good idea there, but you ought to put it on wheels." And so we went back, and a day or so later we had it on wheels, just put some handle irons under it and so forth. And you know, I put a little ad in the Wallace's Farmer, and we had 1,000 inquiries in 1 week. And I had one man working for me.
Before long, his little company had 24 employees. The Vermeer Industrial Division started to form as the original tiling trencher evolved into self-propelled, track-mounted power ditchers for underground utility distribution. As early as 1951, Vermeer had an agreement to export the new trenching machines overseas. Then, in 1957, an operator hit the wrong hydraulic control during a product testing session, and the Vermeer stump cutter was born.
There was a couple of farmers out here by the name of Lonnie and Harry Verplug, and they took an old thrashing machine cylinder, 24-inch thrashing machine cylinder, and then they hooked that on the back of a case tractor, and then they dropped that on top of the stump and they drive ahead. And boy, would that thing bounce and make a lot of noise. But I saw that work, and you know, they did get a stump out with it. We thought if we took that idea that they had and make a 3-inch wheel, that you could just pull that across the stump this way, that then that wouldn't bounce as bad and it might work. But the fellow that was running that thing made a mistake and hit the wrong lever and it went crossways. And we found out it cut about 5 times faster that way. And now that's the way we cut stumps.
It was a time of change, particularly in America's blossoming suburbs. Environmentally conscious consumers demanded cleaner, less invasive ways of stringing utility services across America's landscape. And Vermeer was ready, with a complete line of rubber tire and track trenchers, sporting a new, fresh design, and a reputation for outstanding reliability, durability, and performance in the field. A fleet of Vermeer tree spades launched a brand new concept called Instant Shade. This reduced the drudgery of digging, moving, balling, and planting small trees and shrubs for nurseries. Meanwhile, the Vermeer Industrial Dealer Network continued to expand under the leadership of Gary and his brother Harry, vice president. Several enterprising employees changed hats, left Pella, and established Vermeer dealerships throughout the country. By the end of the decade, Vermeer had quadrupled in size. Baby boomers were coming of age and transforming America's workforce. And following an early morning walk with a friend, Gary Vermeer would transform the hay industry.
He said, "I'm tired of putting up hay." And I thought, if this fellow who ought to be in the cattle business. He's tired of putting up hay. There ought to be a better way to do it. So the next morning, I went to experimental department, and there was a fellow there by the name of Arnold Matheson. He and I did a lot of things together, and we started figuring out how it would be to make a bale that would weigh a ton. We had no idea how big it ought to be or anything, and so then we started building that, and then I went to 10 county seat towns in southern Iowa. You know, it's got all cow-calf operation. Anyhow, we start with that baler demonstration, and you know, I had made a lot of demonstrations with ditchers and all stump cutters and all that kind of stuff. You get 10, 15 people, and you think you do pretty good. They came out by the hundreds. Those cars would back up a mile on the road. And people would come in there, and because, boy, they were ready for something better as far as haying was concerned. And so we made those demonstrations, and the next day, you know, you'd see a lot of them same people there again. And then you'd say, well, how come you came again? We want to see if we work 2 days in a row, they said.
Almost overnight, Vermeer revolutionized the hay industry. The company doubled in size. Orders for big round balers stretched manufacturing production and capacity to the limits. More than 6,000 balers were sold in 1974 to 1975 alone. New product extensions included rakes and mowers. In just 9 years, 3 new plants were constructed, and by the end of the decade, there were more than 900 employees on board. The technical revolution takes off. By 1983, Vermeer International, located in the Netherlands, had become a wholly owned subsidiary of Vermeer, and by the end of the century would expand from its Spartan 2-story offices into a major marketing, manufacturing, and distribution center to support a rapidly growing international sales organization. Vermeer developed and refined new underground equipment and methods. In concert with improvements in fluid power transmission, a new line of hydrostatic trenchers was introduced. As jobs got tougher, trenchers got bigger. Vermeer helped trench the untrenchable in tunnels, along mountain passes, even in conditions few thought possible. Vermeer also discovered another huge niche for the environmental product line. Chipper sales exploded, particularly with the introduction of the company's popular hydraulic feed system. In 1989, a new generation of Vermeer management took over. Gary's son, Bob Vermeer, and daughter Mary Andringa followed in his path, always in search of better ways to accelerate product development, streamline the manufacturing process, expand the Vermeer global presence, and recruit, train, and engage a rapidly growing workforce.
I think another thing, as we have become much larger, we've empowered many more people with a lot of responsibility to develop product, to develop solutions, to get manufacturing done, to all those areas.
And really, very, very simply, lean is just the relentless pursuit of waste, looking for how you can take steps out and time and waiting out of any process.
Personal computers and the World Wide Web changed everything. As the dot-com era took off, Bob and Mary had Vermeer geared up to support the flood of fiber optic installations happening worldwide. It was a decade of skyrocketing sales and explosive growth. Navigator horizontal directional drills created new product lines, a wide range of accessories, and another huge division and profit center. It also stimulated new growth and expansion for a dedicated group of entrepreneurs in the international theater. Employment skyrocketed. In less than 10 years, Vermeer nearly tripled in size. Vermeer unveiled a wide range of new products, environmental machines to help aid the recycling reclamation industry, bigger, wider, deeper trenching and rock cutting machines to meet the challenging conditions of contractors working on new infrastructures in remote areas of the world. Rebel balers arrived to serve the needs of a totally new group of rural lifestyle customers. Together, Bob and Mary, now serving as co-CEOs, positioned Vermeer for success in the new millennium by bringing new faces to the board of directors, establishing a strong executive team to help lead the organization into new markets worldwide. In 2005, Jason Andringa joined as Environmental Segment Manager. He would later become President, Forage and Environmental Solutions. Alison Vermeer Van Weingarten joined in 2007 as Industrial Dealership Distribution Manager. And the following year, Mindy Andringa Vandenbosch was named Market Assessment Manager.
As a third generation, we grew up as cousins together, and we all knew that our grandpa had a huge passion for this company, and it was always instilled in us to have that passion. Every one of our third generation is excited about the company. We care about the company. We want to see the company last as long as it can. We don't all work here, but we have plenty of third generation that are involved in the family portion of the business, but also into the everyday business. And at all different levels, we all have a passion for the organization.
For me to have the opportunity to come work at the company that my grandfather founded and provide leadership to this company and hopefully allow this company to be successful many years, many decades into the future is an awesome opportunity for me.
Vermeer entered the jumbo drill market and seized greater share of the burgeoning biomass market, broadening its product line and introducing the first terrain leveler attachment for surface mining and a horizontal grinder for wood waste reclamation. Vermeer expanded its global footprint in China, in Singapore, and in Brazil, putting in place sales, marketing, equipment, and parts support to serve the needs of customers in the Asia-Pacific and Latin American markets. In 2007, Vermeer signed an agreement with South Dakota-based Wildcat Manufacturing, enhancing the company's presence in the composting and trommel screen markets. The next year, Vermeer and Dutch-based Lely Group jointly acquired the German agricultural baler and bale wrapper manufacturer Welger, further strengthening Vermeer's presence in the forage industry. Then, in 2009, we said goodbye to the man who started it all. Founder Gary Vermeer passed away at 90 years of age, leaving behind a legacy of innovation, leadership, hard work, and a passion for finding better ways to get the job done.
His spirit definitely lives on because the name is on all the machines we build. Every machine that we build has his name on it. So of course his legacy lives on, and every time we sell a piece of Vermeer equipment and it's out there somewhere around the world and it has the name Vermeer on it, that's Gary Vermeer's legacy continuing on into the future.
As job sites get bigger, tougher, and move faster, opportunities for big innovation abound. In 2011, Vermeer unveiled the T1655 Terrain Leveler, the largest machine ever manufactured in Iowa. The next year, 14 terrain levelers were sold for surface mining in Australia. This included an order for 7 T1655s, the single largest order in company history. Vermeer continues to expand facilities to support growing customer and employment needs. Outreach efforts result in a satellite office and growing university campus presence. And a future early learning center will give children of employees a fun and interactive environment where they can learn, grow, and live fully. Vermeer continues to anticipate customer needs, to find better ways, and work together to collectively design and build better equipment, and back it up with the training and support customers need in order to enhance job performance and ultimately improve their way of life. As Gary Vermeer said so many times before, find a need, fill that need with a product built to last, and simply build the best.
Seeing employees really reach their potential. I love that.
I think we were always very interested in looking for a better way of doing something.
People are the key. They are our most important asset.
I really believe that we have some great opportunities in the future.
I think Vermeer has a very bright future. For 65 years, we've been successful at identifying niche markets to develop innovative products to serve. We have a diverse group of markets. We produce our products in a lean way. We sell it through a dealership network with entrepreneurial, independent, business-minded people. So I think our future is very bright.
This is what we do at Vermeer, and this is where it happens. On the drawing board, on the floor, in the field, at the job sites. Every day across the country, around the world, Vermeer is there, a family of dedicated workers, dealers, and customers, designing, building, supporting, and using some of the most innovative equipment in the world. Equipped to do a better job, to build a better life, and a better future together with this family we call Vermeer.